Hi everybody, welcome to our very first Q&A video. A few weeks ago on one of our videos I asked if anybody had any questions, then we would do an upcoming video answering them. So here it is.
Here it is.
Okay. So we've had quite a few questions on our comment section on the videos and also on Twitter. So first question has come from Sammy Bembo on Twitter. Hi Sammy.
Hi Sammy.
And he wants to know, what's the worst thing that we've pulled out of the weed hatch?
We haven't really pulled much out of the weed hatch, have we?
No.
I think we've been really lucky. We've had one or two occasions where I thought something might have been stuck around the propeller, but a quick shot in reverse and it all disappeared again. Yeah. So we pulled one or two interesting things out of the canal, though. That's a different thing altogether, isn't it?
Our first trip out ever in our narrowboat, we came to our first manual lock. So we got out of the boat and went to go suss it out, see what we were meant to be doing. And we found floating in the lock a full-size fridge. So we had to pull...
Stuck behind the lock gate.
Yeah, so that was interesting, pulling that one out.
Yeah.
And then the second trip out, we'd just moored up and you heard somebody shouting.
Yeah.
And
there was a man in the canal upside down, stuck between his boat and the pilings, trying to pull his dog out. So we had to pull him out as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then shortly after that, it was in the summer, we were doing some work on the boat and we'd seen a couple of girls with a huge bottle of Lambrini. And the next thing we knew, we heard a huge splash and we looked out and Lambrini girl was literally up to her neck in the canal and was completely floundering, wasn't she?
Yeah.
So we heaved her out.
It wasn't pretty.
No, it definitely wasn't pretty. And then there was...
You had to be there.
Yeah. And then there was the solar panel incident, wasn't there?
Yeah, the solar panel incident.
Yeah.
We'd just come back from a trip to Hebden Bridge and one of our new neighbours who'd moored there while we'd been away had managed to drop a brand new solar panel off the side of his boat into the bottom of the canal. So we ended up giving him a hand fishing that out. Turns out, and we didn't know at the time, but the bit of canal where we moor is actually 12 foot deep. So it was quite a challenge, but he got it back and it works fine. And it's back on his boat.
Yeah, we're like the Baywatch of the Aire Calder Navigation.
Are you sure?
Well, in kind of waterproofs rather than swimwear.
Yeah. Don't often put my trunks on.
No, moving on.
No.
Okay.
That's a future video.
No. So Sammy also wants to know, how do you keep your bilges free of water?
Well, we don't really get much water in there. When we bought the boat, they were quite dirty, but after a good clean out, there was not a lot in there, to be honest. We get one or two drops of water through the stern gland, which gets mopped up with a nappy now and again. The old famous nappies.
Disposable nappies, yeah.
Good for getting damp things in out of tight places.
Can't believe you just said that.
No,
okay, we'll move on to another question. Right, we did a video about the boat safety scheme certificate. We had a couple of questions. Sally Newton and Steve Morton, they both like to know how much our boat safety scheme certificate cost us, and Sally also wants to know how long it is valid for. So
it cost us £130, which I don't really know whether that's good or bad.
Yeah, we didn't shop around, did we, for quotes?
We used the same guy that had done it the previous twice for the previous owner. So I figured that if he came back to have a look at it, we've got a reasonably good chance of it passing again, since he'd done it the last twice and not much changed on the boat. So yeah, and valid 4 years.
Years, so we thought kind of £30 per year. We didn't think it was too bad a value.
No.
We are interested though, if anybody wants to leave a comment down below, how much, if you've had a BSS done recently, how much you've actually paid for it, so that we know that in future whether we need to shop around or not, don't we?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Another thing we've had a couple of people ask about is our drone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, it's not our drone. We'll just point that out. The thing, well, no, one of the things about having a techie teenage son is that we get to play with a lot of
His toys.
Yeah. So it's actually our son's drone. But Steve L and Dave Prince both want to know, what drone do you use? Do you need a license? And what restrictions are there as to when you can film with a drone?
Well, it's a DJI Phantom 3 standard. You don't need a license. When he got it, we thought it might be a good idea if we joined the British Model Flying Association, which gives you quite a lot of guidance on the use of it, and also it gives you insurances, in case you were unfortunate enough to have an accident with it and cause any damage to anybody or anything. Hopefully we never need it, but it's there just in case. There are restrictions on flying drones about heights and areas and things like that. The best place to look is on the CAA website, and you can actually download a little app. I think it's called NATS, N-A-T-S.
We'll put a link to that
for an Android device, which gives you a good idea of what you can and can't do and where you can and can't fly.
Okay. Now we've had a raft of questions from the Dugbo. I've got to say hi because we love your comments. You always leave brilliant comments and you've asked some brilliant questions. So here goes. So what is the longest trip in distance and duration? Do you want to go?
Yeah, the longest trip we've done so far, we only got the boat last April time, so we've not had it that long really, and we'd already got quite a lot of plans last year for trips. For holiday trips, we weren't actually planning on buying a boat until probably round about now.
Yeah.
So we squeezed a few trips in. The longest one was to Hebden Bridge, up in West Yorkshire.
Yeah, that was on we went from the Aire Calder Navigation onto the Calder and Hebble, and then onto the Rochdale Canal.
Yeah. That's about 3 days
constant
travel from where we are in each direction. With about 80 locks, so it was quite challenging. 80 locks in total.
It was hard work. We did it in a week. We spent 3 days travelling there. We spent a day in Hebden Bridge, and then we headed back again. With a few pub stops on the way back.
And some of the locks were quite challenging, weren't there? Our boat's 57 foot, and the maximum length on some of the Calder and Hebble locks is 57 feet, which it's a tight squeeze. I wouldn't like to have taken anything bigger. Not so bad on the way up, but coming back, it was watch the sill and try and get the boat across the lock so you can open a gate to actually get out. Was quite fun.
And it was good because we kind of found all different things that we'd not found on the canal before. We went through a guillotine lock. Which we've never seen before, so that was interesting. We went through Tulle Lane Lock, which is that the deepest lock in the country on the system yet. So it was a really interesting trip.
We used a hand spike on the Calder and Hebble.
Yeah, again, something new to us. And the other thing is we couldn't have actually gone any further if we'd have wanted to do, because at that point the Rochdale Canal was closed just beyond Hebden Bridge as there'd been a landslide. When they had the floods back in Boxing Day 2015. So the navigation was completely closed.
And we managed to just get under Elland Bridge, which is only just reopened. It had only just reopened for boat traffic when we went through, and only just reopened for car traffic. I think it was last week. Since it closed. So that was a really good trip, and the weather was fantastic. I think we had one rainy day. So so moving on, Dugbo also wants to know what are our trip plans for the near future. Okay, so we've got a few short trips planned in the very near future. We'll be heading up to Leeds and staying up at Granary Wharf. We've done that trip a few times now and we really like that. It's a good long weekend. Being able to go into the city, and it's really nice staying down on Granary Wharf as well.
We've got plans to kind of explore the South Yorkshire navigations, which we haven't done yet, have we?
No, we've not been down there yet.
No, so probably heading along the Aire Calder, down onto the new Junction Canal.
I have no clue.
And then maybe either going on the Stainforth and Keighley or carrying on down towards Doncaster, Sheffield, that way. So that's one area that we'd like to explore. And then summertime, we're planning on going up onto the Leeds-Liverpool Canal. We don't know. We've not really set any plans how far we're going to go. We know we want to get as far as Skipton.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be good if we could kind of get to the Lancashire border. But we'll see how we go with that. So they're kind of like what we've got so far. We might amend them, we might add to them, but that's kind of what we'd like to do this kind of upcoming spring, summer. Yeah. Another question also is, are there any projects for the boat that bother us that we would like to do? I'm going to let you answer this because there is one thing that I know that you would like to alter that we're not in a position to do.
The only thing that's really bugging at the minute is the lights. The lights that were put in originally when the boat was built are quite nice, stainless steel brushed, but the square fittings, they've got LED lamps fitted in, but they're not particularly bright. And because of the square shape that's been cut in the ceiling, I'm kind of finding it impossible to find a round fitting that takes in enough to cover the holes that are already there. So I think we're pretty much stuck for now.
Yeah, we've talked about putting like a wooden patras.
But there are quite a lot of lights. There are 20 odd on the boat, and it would get, it'd be a big job.
Yeah.
So I think we'll just live with them for now and
invest in head torches to where everyone will read a book on the night.
Yeah.
Okay, so our final question is a great question. This: do you have a dream trip on the boat that you would like to do? That is a good one, isn't it?
I don't know. Dream trip. I think we'd just like to spend longer on the boat, doing some rings or some longer, maybe 4 or 6 week
I don't think we've
cruises.
got a dream location because we want to kind of explore all of it.
Yeah.
And I think until we've actually seen more of the system, we don't really know what's in store for us, do we? So I wouldn't like to pick an actual place. I mean, there are places that interest us, but it's more the concept of spending longer extended periods. Where we can be leisurely, we're not having to rush back. So maybe 6 weeks over the summer, just pootling along and chilling out. I think that'd be our dream trip, wouldn't it?
There's all those interesting people out there still to meet.
Yes, lots of them.
Yes, particularly down south.
So that's it really for questions. We actually though have a question for our viewers that you might be able to help us with. We feel that probably after this year we'll have explored quite a lot of the northern waterways, certainly in Yorkshire, and we're actually looking to relocate our boat to another part of the system.
Yeah.
So what we'd like to know is if anybody has any recommendations that probably up to a 2-hour drive from Leeds.
Yeah.
Where we could base ourselves maybe for a year or two. We'd love to hear your recommendations, really, wouldn't we? And and just kind of
see what's out there.
Yeah, definitely. So we really hope you've enjoyed this video.
Yeah.
If you have, give us a thumbs up. If you've not already subscribed, we'd love it if you joined us. And any comments are more than welcome. And we look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.
Bye.